You are watching Matt's Minis, a Louis Lafleur program. This is a free episode available due to the graciousness of Mr. Lafleur himself. Please support the Patreon at www.patreon.com/LLPQ to watch all Matt's Minis episodes, including ones from past seasons, and other wonderful programs.
These are Matt's Mini Movies, presented by Mr. Louis. These are Matt's Mini Movies, presented by Mr.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Matt's Minis, presented by Mr. Louis Lafleur. I'm Matt Johnson. This week of Matt's Minis, it's actually for a couple of weeks, since I missed a week. So for March 26th and April 2nd. Although I don't think I'll be covering everything, because then this would be gargantuan. But I will say there are a lot of movies, and I will be rushing through them, so it's going to be a really mini Matt's Minis, which will be hard because of my mobiles, so stick with me, bear with me. I'm going to be blasting them out. Before I really start, though, I did want to say, because I posted this in the Discord where not everybody happens to be, but I did watch the 3 Lord of the Rings movies extended editions, which is the only way to watch them now for me, so could just say I watched Lord of the Rings, I guess. For some reason, I always loved the first one the most, probably because this is a Boromir household, so, you know, it's a rough one, but it gets me emotionally. So I won't say anything else because it's actually on the LLPQ 50. Also, there's a little bug flying around in my face, so if you see it, you see it. The first real movie of the week is called Death Race 3 Inferno by Reiné, 2013. So despite the fact that this is the same director as the Death Race 2, which kind of rocked, even though it was pretty stupid and trashy and used a bunch of the same shit from the first one. This one was absolute garbage, and I hated every second of it. They're in Africa, in South Africa. Wonderful idea. All of the new people introduced absolutely suck. There's this like crazy guy who's is like a ripoff of Gary Oldman, so how I saw it, who's just not at all crazy, and he's just like, you know, kind of mean or something, you know, but then also they think he's wacky, but he's like not at all. I don't know, it's really just stupid as hell. And also the Dougray Scott, the bad guy from Mission Impossible 2, has taken over the Wayland Industries and is just trying to it's just having sex a lot. And there's lots of sex and like prostitution-y stuff in this one, and it's very uncomfortable. And this looks like pure shit, and the racing sucks. It's like trying to be rally racing, but it's like not even fun at all in terms of rally racing. They're just like driving around in the desert. Just a horrible movie. For my Matt's Minis, movie mobiles in the movies, they did give little upgrades to make it like a rally car, which is kind of cool, I guess. One of the trucks is like a full-on monster truck, I feel like now too. There is this one huge long mobile that's like has a full-on turret on it, and they flip it over and it smashes this entire little house. Which is pretty cool. So, as per usual, Death Race got some good stuff. I feel like the main car wasn't even a Mustang, but honestly, I've tried to purge this movie from my memories. I'm gonna give this one an 8 because it was pretty cool.
The overall winning time was 27 hours, 38 minutes, set by Vic Wilson and Ted Mangles while driving a Myers-Manx buggy.
Who are you talking to?
Thought you'd appreciate some relative historical perspective.
What you thought wrong?
So that was Death Race 3 Inferno. Next movie of the week is called Death Race Beyond Anarchy, which is Death Race 4, basically, by D.M. Paul, 2018. Fully new people here, except for, well, I guess we still have Lists and Goldberg, Danny Trejo, which Danny Trejo, the entire movie, by the way, is in Mexico, and he's just running like a gambling ring, all gambling on the death races. Death Race is now basically like Escape from New York. They have a whole city that they've condemned for, you know, it's a giant prison basically with huge walls and everything, and people are just killing each other willy-nilly. But Frankenstein is like the leader. He controls the whole thing. And we got a new guy trying to come and race him for it. And the winner of the death race now gets to become the leader of the little city of, I don't remember what they call it. But this one is pretty sick. Definitely a huge improvement on Death Race 3. I think probably even better than Death Race 2, because there's just some sweet stuff. There's some of the side people are pretty funny. There's actually all new stuff in this, and it's cool, fun for the world, their world building perspective. Better than 2 and 3 in that regard. For my Matt's Minis mobiles in the movies, this one actually has a lot of sweet cars, and some really funny. Like, it has a bug, and the bug like dies pretty quickly, and they're like, why would you be taking a bug to a death race anyway? And then one of the guys is driving this like cop car, which is like super lifted with this huge tires. I think I'll give it like a 9, because I did like the cars in this one, and the race was hugely important, of course. So big deal. Okay, that was Death Race Beyond Anarchy. Next movie of the week is called Top Secret by J. Abrahams, D. Zucker, and J. Zucker, 1984. So yes, we watched this the day that Val died. Big rip. I had never seen this one. I didn't know there was the dudes from Airplane, but after watching, after like 10 minutes, you basically know. It's one of those movies that just throw you jokes left and right, and in the background and everywhere there's shit going on. So it's pretty fun. I think it's also Val's first movie, which is pretty impressive. And he does like ridiculous song and dance routines. I think it was, in the movie, it's not actually him singing, like he's just lip syncing, but I think he was actually singing these songs in like the soundtrack or whatever, playing them. But he's basically just doing like Elvis-y stuff. And it's also very preposterous Germany stuff going on, which is fun. There's also the classic underwater Western scene, which was super sick, so worth it for that. For my Matt's Minis movie mobiles in the movies, I only really remember like a train. Oh, I remember the train because there's somebody, they do like a little fight on top of the train, of course, like lots of movies loves to do. And like one of the guys that I think it's Val fighting him. He stands up and Val like lays down and goes underneath a tunnel, not a tunnel but a bridge, and the dude like just takes out the entire bridge. Like he's made of steel or something, like he's Superman, But that's literally all I can remember, so I think I'll give it a 2.
Ich will mit der Stahl in der Bürgerplatz. I want a Schnauzer with my Wiener Schnitzel.
Okay, that was Top Secret. Next movie of the week is called A Working Man by D. Ayer, 2025. Yes, the newest Jason Statham kicking ass movie. The same guy that made The Beekeeper, which I didn't watch, but he also made some other random stuff, End of Watch, with Michael Pena, who's also in this movie. I don't know, I thought this would be more, Jason Statham beating people up with a 2x4 or, I don't know, shovel or something like that, but like, he's just a full military dude, and it becomes a very fully military movie. It's been unfortunate. Also, like, the splash cover, the title cover, whatever, on Letterboxd is like him, and on, I don't know, everywhere is him with a huge sledgehammer. And spoiler, but he uses a sledgehammer literally not even to kill a single person. Like, he just fucking uses it to smash some handcuffs, and then he just leaves it behind, and then he's back to his guns. Yeah, I was pretty let down. I thought there's this main antagonist, black guy that's like huge. He must be like a wrestler or something, I don't know, but he was definitely my favorite part. She says like he's looking at Jason Statham's hands, and he's like, these aren't the hands of a cop. These are the hands of a working man. Just probably my favorite part, so. For my Matt's Minis movie reveals in the movies, I think the funniest thing about this, they're like driving around, I think Chicago, and passing one of the cars while he's driving around in his Dodge Ram, they pass a Cybertruck, like very clearly, very right next to them, going the other direction on like a 1-lane street. I think this is the first time I've ever seen a Cybertruck in a movie, so I was cracking up in the theater just because I saw that. But yeah, he also drives like multiple Dodge vehicles, even though he seems to be like a poor working class man. So like he's in a Charger Then he's in a Ram, and I swear he's definitely in another one at some point. There's also like the Russian mafia. This movie's all the bad guys are all the Russian mafia, so they're driving like Mercedes and sweet cars, and stuff. So I think I would give it. The Cybertruck really wants me to lower it, but I think I'll give it like a 6.
I can see you guys coming a mile away. You hunt bad guys. You jump out of planes. And you get those bad guys.
I'm a different person now.
Okay, that was A Working Man. Next movie of the week is called The Last Days of Disco by W. Stillman, 1998. So I recently watched Metropolitan and downloaded the rest of the Stillman movies because I just liked that one a lot. And I will say I absolutely loved this movie. It was very similar to Metropolitan, definitely in a way, like these yuppie-ish, like recent college grads from Ivy League schools in New York, just trying to become adults and like go out and have sex, and I don't know. I mean, it's all centered around this club that's impossible to get into or whatever, and obviously at the end of the disco era in the late 70s, early 80s or whatever. And yeah, just another very witty, ridiculous stuff that Eigenmann or whatever, Chris Eigenmann, I think, Eigenmann, was cracking me up a lot. Obviously, Chloe Sevigny and like interactions with the house doctor guy. Just so much funny stuff. The four of my Matt Spinney's movie reveals in the movies. I would say like right away they're talking about going into a cab because you have to come out of a cab to get into this club because otherwise you don't seem important, And then it cuts to these other guys that are in a cab, getting out of the cab, and they try to get in and they don't get in, which is funny. But besides that, I think that's literally the only mobile in the movie. I think there is actually another car where they're like moving into their house, but it's like already parked, 0 miles per hour top speed. So I think I'll probably give like a 2. Maybe I'll give it a 2.5 for the talking about the cabs and stuff. And it's New York. It's a cab movie.
As if you really worry about paying the rent like the rest of us.
Oh, you worry about paying the rent?
Yeah.
Then you're way ahead of us because we don't even have an apartment.
Okay, so that was The Last Days of Disco. Next movie of the week is called Scorpio by M. Wenner, 1973. It's a spy movie with Burt Lancaster and Alain Delon. So, right, it sounds sick, right? Like, how could this be boring? But let me tell you, boring as hell. The whole, like, it's a very spy heavy plot type of, spy movie where Burt's being, like, hunted, I guess, by Delon, but, like, they're also kind of friends-ish and like only half trying to kill each other or something, and just none of it is very intriguing, especially after like, I don't know, I thought it'd be more James Bond-y, like, you gotta learn a little bit from James Bond. Like, you can't have your spy movie be boring as hell, honestly. It's fun enough for Burt Lancaster, but he has a full blackface part in this movie. He's like trying to hide, and he hides with a bunch of black priests, and he has blackface full on because it's the 70s. It was fine in the 70s, I guess, huh? Okay, for my Matt Smitty's movie mobiles in the movies, so it'd be in the 70s, lots of sweet cars. They go to Vienna, and I remember they get in a taxi cab, like Burt gets in a taxi cab with somebody else, I think, and the taxi's literally a Mercedes, which I thought was amazing. And yeah, there's some bugs and some Cadillacs and multiple Mercedes, and there's this one kind of chase scene early on too with Burt where he's not really chased, but he's being followed, and he drives into this alleyway that's obviously has no room to maneuver, and then stops, and the car follows him in there, and then he just reverses as fast as he can and just goes bam right into the car, and then fucks it all up, and gets out and runs away, which rocked. So lots of great stuff actually from the mobile's perspective. So I think I'll probably give it like a 7. Okay, so that was Scorpio. So to follow that up, I put on Die Another Day by El Tamahori, 2002. Because, I wanted to watch a real spy movie. So I had to put on my Bond. Also, I remembered that I had recently watched all the other Pierce movies, so I thought I might as well just put this one on. Definitely, obviously, the one that gets the worst rap of the Pierce for good reason, but it's honestly is a lot of fun. I mean, he starts out surfing into North Korea and, like, stormy ass weather, which is incredible. It's really hard for me to hate it because it's just so perfectly stupid, which is exactly what a Bond movie should be like, especially after all the Daniel Craig stuff followed this and just gets stupider and stupider and like in the annoying way, like more serious and more like trying to be edgy or something, you know what I mean? But these movies were just perfectly like, what were they thinking making these movies, which I love. I just want them to go back to this. like Halle Berry being an absolutely ridiculous character. Just dropping also the stupidest of puns. Like, oh, I just almost died. Let me just drop a pun on Mr. Bond here. Also, the bad guy literally looks exactly like Scott Parker, football player, who I don't like. He was a Spur from Tottenham. So he belongs as a villain in a Bond movie, let's just say. This one also has hilarious like ego stuff with him battling Bond, and he's like the poorest loser of all time, which is so nice. He's a really good Bond villain in my opinion. Just a dumb, stupid, manly piece of shit. And also he's all in the media and trying to be like the nicest, coolest guy, like totally chill. And then he fights with Bond, and he's like getting so unbelievably angry at getting close to losing. For my Matt's Minis movie mobiles in the movies. So I guess I mentioned surfboards, obviously. Not a mobile, but a piece of what are they made out of? I don't know. Piece of something that you stand on in the water. But this one truly has a lot. The Scott Parker character, he's like a speed freak also. He wants to break records. So he's driving on the ice with this like insanely fast snowmobile, trying to go faster than any person has gone on ice or some shit. I don't know. It's got like a huge rocket attached to it. So obviously that thing is a major playing piece. Also, Bond is driving an Aston Martin Vanquish. It's called Vanquish, huh? And they call it the Aston Martin Vanish because it has active camouflage. So, sick as hell. Also, there's an amazing scene with the other, second baddest guy, who's this Korean guy, who also has like a super souped up car with like missiles and shit, which, Bond always has. But now the other villain has it, and it's just a perfect... Bond still outdoes him, because he knows how to use his better. Honestly, I think I'd give this a 9. That's enough about Die Another Day. Next movie of the week, this big one, is called A Minecraft Movie by J. Hess, 2025. See, I really didn't not care to go watch this, but I went with my friend who really wanted to, and I was like, okay, let's do it. Mostly just because I really hate Napoleon Dynamite. I don't care that much about Nacho Libre, but it's like whatever. But Jack Black, since then has just gotten like, he's like the king, the EB king, epic bacon-ness to the extreme. And this entire movie, he does not stop yelling or doing these, like doing his crazy faces. It's the entire movie. So if you like that, you've already seen this movie. Let's be real. But there's a couple little funny things. I definitely laughed a couple times. Momoa is also, he's utterly ridiculous. Sometimes I kind of like him. I did like that he was like he's not even almost the lovable loser, but he's just like the loserish loser, the loserable loser. Of course, you're gonna love him, but he's also like an arrogant piece of crap until he isn't, which he has to have that kind of arc as this character. But made me laugh. But overall, it's just a stupid movie, and I don't know anything about Minecraft, so I didn't really get much out of it from that point of view. But Jack Black does say, "First we mine, then we craft Minecraft." For my Matt's Minis, mobiles in the movies, there are these like balloon things with platforms they're flying around on. Ooh, I remember at the beginning, this was a huge one. Momoa is driving a bright red with flames Pontiac Firebird, and he's a professional gamer, of course. And I think he won like a gaming tournament in like 1989 or something, and his license plate says Gamer 89 or something. So really, really nice. And then also the real estate lady that joins them comes to this other overworld of Minecraft. She's driving, I don't even know what kind of car it is, but she's got a roving zoo, mobile zoo. So she's got cages of animals that she's huffing around everywhere. I'll probably get like a 3.5 mostly for the Firebird.
La 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 lava, chicken. Steve's lava chicken, yeah, it's tasty as hell. Ooh, mamacita, now you're ringing the bell. Crispy and juicy, now you're having a stack. Ooh, super spicy, it's a lava attack.
Okay, that was a Minecraft movie. Next movie, I'm actually going to talk about 2 movies. Unbreakable and Glass by our M. Night Shyamalan, 2000 and 2019. Because I had never seen Glass, and it's been decades since I watched Unbreakable. I've come around on my M. Night. I'd say I'm an M. Night fan now. I've been created. I've really come to appreciate his like faith, hope, belief themes across all of his movies and just how deep it goes and how willing he is to dive into these and challenge himself and challenge everything. But then also he remains hopeful all the time, it feels like. But I really, really loved that in Glass, how he took everything from Unbreakable and then right from the beginning with Sarah Paulson's character, she's just like challenging it and like challenging the our trio here, Samuel and James McAvoy and Bruce Willis. And then by the end, it's just fantastic. So I won't spoil much because I just love this movie. I think everyone should watch it. Watch all these. And Split. I'll probably watch Split again soon. I had watched it not that long ago. But now it was probably like at least 5 years ago or something. But I did, yeah. I really loved Unbreakable after rewatching it too. They're good movies. I can't even help it. I don't know nothing. I don't care nothing about comic books and superheroes, and I love these. What's up with that? Okay, so for my Matt's Minis movie reels and movies. So of course with Unbreakable we got the train crash. Almost nothing else. I literally can't even think of anything else. And then Glass also does a little cutback to that, but it's also got this big fight scene at the end with a bunch of cop cars and like a van that they're locking people into. And yeah, it's kind of like the big, it's a big climactic scene, so it's kind of cool. Not really much across either one of these. I'll probably together, aggregated, I'll probably give them like a 3.
Is he crying? Jeez, pussy. Listen, I don't know about these other guys, but we are like a superhero. No? We're like, dun, 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 dun. We're not crazy.
That's Glass and Unbreakable. Next movie of the week is called Death Becomes Her by R. Zemeckis, 1992. So after watching Unbreakable and Glass, for some reason I watched another Bruce Willis movie that I hadn't seen. That everybody seems to really love this movie. Watching it, I couldn't help think that it was like misogynist as hell, which I'm probably, people will tell me I'm wrong about, I guess. But the whole like, they're taking their potion and looking younger and living forever or whatever. And it's like very obviously a commentary on Hollywood and beauty standards and stuff. But then the fact that Brucey doesn't even end up taking it, and he has this like logical reason of not wanting to live forever because everybody knows he's gonna die, and like he thinks for more than 5 seconds about taking it. That whole thing puts a horrible taste in my mouth, along with obviously them just beating the shit out of each other the whole movie. Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn, so also Isabella Rossellini just fully naked the whole time, looking quite nice. It was a very odd movie. I also didn't laugh like once. I don't know, Zemeckis just kind of sucks. I think What Lies Beneath is probably his coolest movie. For my Matt's Minis moving mobiles and movies. So they are driving around a 2-door Mercedes convertible. Someone is, I think Meryl Streep is or something, which is pretty sweet. Bruce tries to rush her to the hospital and just goes directly into an ambulance, pulling up to the hospital, which is pretty cool. Pretty badass. And he didn't give a fuck. He's like, heal my woman here. That's it. I think there's probably some other cool looking rich people cars or whatever, so I think I'll probably give it like a 2 or 3.
Look at yourself!
Ernest! My ass!
Okay, well, that's the last movie of the week. So, of the weeks. So, signing off. Bye-bye.